What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 381. And first, I want to say thank you all, man, for always listening, watching. It means the world to me. And the podcast hit a huge milestone. At least for me, it's a huge milestone. It is something that I wasn't expecting. I had been working towards for a long time, and it is a good sign of things to come. Let's just say that. So I want to make sure when this was. I believe this was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. I was with my mom. It was like 11 o'clock at night. We were talking about some stuff, and my phone starts to get a bunch of notifications. Usually around 11, I try to stay away from my phone because I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I don't want to have all this blue light in my eyes and then have trouble sleeping. And yeah, it's a whole thing where, if you want to get better sleep, just stay away from your phone at least 30 minutes to an hour before your bed. Just read a book or, just relax really, or just have a conversation with somebody. So that way, at least 30 minutes, an hour before bed, you have a better, deeper sleep and, a lower resting heart rate and all that stuff. So you get a just overall better sleep, right? So yeah, I wasn't on my phone, but my phone just had all these notifications. Usually my phone's in sleep mode by this time. I just at this moment, I didn't put it in sleep mode for whatever reason. And then my personal Instagram, when you comment on the personal Instagram, I usually get the notification directly on my phone because my personal is not as big as the Diverse Mentality one. And I did that on purpose. I don't want, for the most part, if I ever become big, like in terms of my name directly instead of just Diverse Mentality, because Diverse Mentality is bigger than like me, like Quake, right? So, that page, the personal one, I have notifications on no matter what, like when people comment, stuff like that all the time. So on the personal page, I got a comment that said, check the GOAT's Instagram page. Actually, let me shout this guy out because shout out to him, man. He was the one that gave me, and then I got a bunch of notifications after that, but he was the first one to comment and say something. And my personal page also got a lot of followers after that. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. Donnie Anthony 407. Shout out to you. He said, go peep the GOAT's Instagram page, brother. I was like, okay, so you guys know who I call the GOAT. It's 50 Cent. So I was like, all right, what is this comment about? I go click on 50's page, and lo and behold, I see my handsome face on there. I was like, what? I lost my mind, man. I couldn't sleep till like 1:30 at night. I lost my mind. So this podcast clip where I was talking about 50 Cent streams and him being the top stream rapper on the New York side of things on YouTube, yeah, he reshared that. He posted. And what's crazy about this, the craziest thing, it's actually two things. So first, that's the first time my actual face was reposted on his page. And the second thing is the podcast page has like barely any followers. The Instagram podcast page, not the main one, but the podcast page. It's got like 1,800 followers. So clearly 50 was like roaming around and checking out my videos and content or whatever he was doing, and he found that. Or maybe he was just scrolling through Reels and that popped up and he was like, yo, this is dope. I don't even know if he knows the correlation of the two. I don't know. Who knows? But it was really, really cool to see, man. Everybody showing love in the comments. Everybody was just bigging me up and just saying, this is a testament to hard work and dedication. But really, it's a testament to you guys as well, man. You guys supporting me, watching what I do, sharing what I do, liking what I do, all that. If none of it's possible without you guys actually supporting me. So it's a huge milestone in what I do, and it's a huge milestone in the podcast and all of us, that are in this together. Because a lot of you want to see me interview him. A lot of you guys want to see me interview a lot of people. So this is just another step towards that stuff. And it was just amazing, man. I couldn't sleep, like I said, till like 1:30. And then I actually woke up really early as well. So like during that sleep, I just couldn't wait. The second I got up after the sleep, I was like, let me get up and see what's going on. Because funny enough, I was like, man, this is being posted really late at night. And for some reason, I was like, 50 could potentially just remove this in the morning. And it's not even there anymore because there's a high possibility that 50's done that a few times where he'll post something, just delete it. So I was like, let me screenshot everything I can screenshot. let me tell everybody that I can tell, so I have like proof. People can say, hey, this actually happened. Because, I was like, he potentially could delete it. But no, he didn't delete it. He kept it on his page, and he didn't post on his page for the next like 18 hours. So he kept me on there for, 18 hours straight with no new posts. So I was the latest post on his page for a while. And last I checked, let me actually see the views on it at this moment. I believe it's almost at 1 million, which is crazy because that's, in terms of podcast clips, that's easily one of the biggest. Yeah, 994,000. So we're 6,000 views away from it being 1 million, which is insane. And you got a page with 38 million followers showing love, which is really cool, man. So, yeah, man, shout out to 50. I've heard so many great stories of the guy, heart of gold. People get kind of lost in this beef stuff that he does and stuff, but really a lot of that's just marketing and promotion. He knows what he's doing. We'll hear stories, even Fetty Wap, later we'll talk about Fetty Wap getting released. He talks about how 50 was the only one, or one of the few ones, actually checking in on him as he was locked up. I mean, Remy Ma said that. So many stories like that where just 50's just helping people out and doing things. So this is a huge help to me, regardless. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff, is what I'm saying. Like, I've supported him with or without him even noticing or saying anything, or it doesn't matter to me. He's somebody that I admire in terms of what he's accomplished in his life, man. He's been through a lot. And I've been my own, struggles, and a lot of people, everybody's going through their own struggles. So he has a great story, and, he's motivated me to do a lot. He's one of those few people that have, outside of my parents, my family, brother and sister and all that. But outside of family wise, he is one of those that is really motivated. So he doesn't owe me a thing. He's reshared my platform, not my face. This is the first time he's actually shared the podcast on my face, but like in terms of posts that we do in Diverse Mentality, he's reshared just in this past like 2 weeks, 5 times, which is crazy. That's the most ever in that span of time. But he doesn't have to do that, is my point. Is he, just for him to do that is just, I appreciate it so much. So, yeah, enough of me rambling about that, but just a huge testament to working hard. And, you can make like, if you would have told me 5 years ago that 50 would share what you're doing on YouTube on his page, I wouldn't believe you. Just wouldn't believe you. Just wouldn't. I'd be like, what are you talking about? I just did this because I have a passion for it. And it's not just with 50. I know a lot of people are like, oh, all you do is talk about 50 and support 50. That's it. And this is a G-Unit channel and all this. No, I've made documentaries about a lot of artists. And at that level, I never received recognition at that level because 50's at a different level. But Chameleonaire's reached out, loved my video on him. T-Pain has reached out, loved my video. He's the one that actually showed public love. Chameleonaire showed public love on his Facebook, but on T-Pain on his Twitter, he showed public love on my video. Mike Jones, he hasn't showed like public love besides doing that collab post with me for that 20th anniversary album. But he's like, give my number, man. Let's call, let's talk. I talked with him 3-4 times on the phone, hours, just talking about cool stuff. So there's been a lot of artists that have shown love when they don't have to. They could just, see the video, be like, cool, and keep it moving. But there are artists that actually take out time and show love. And, I just love what I do. So that is just a huge honor to me. And, there's really no word. I don't know. There's no words I can say, really. It's just, it's one of those feelings where, when you're working towards a goal in your life and you're working towards trying to build something and you start to notice, you don't notice the progress day by day, but as the time goes on, you'll notice it'll be a compounding thing where, even if you make just a little improvement per day, that all adds up, man, because the years go on and next thing you've built a company, a brand, whatever you're trying to build. I haven't accomplished everything that I want to accomplish yet, but there's been things in my life that I've accomplished just through doing small things per day. Nobody's ever saying to every day grind hard and every day you have to do something really dope. No, I mean, some days there's some days where I don't do anything. Like I'll just take a whole day off and I don't want to post anything. It's rare that I do that, but I'll do one little thing that day. It'll be something small. Like I'll post an Instagram post that day where I won't work on any like documentaries, anything. I'll just do a little quick Instagram post, or I'll write down an idea I have and quickly like kind of say, okay, this. So like, it doesn't have to be something crazy if you're progressing towards something. Yeah, there are days where you go hard and, there's days where literally for 16 hours straight, I'm just working. I forget to eat, stuff like that. There are days where you go hard, but there's days where you can make small progress, towards your goals. It doesn't have to be something major every single day. So with that being said, yeah, Let's get into the news. So I appreciate you guys, of course, for supporting as always. But let's get into the news. And there's quite a few things we can talk about. Lil Durk. So I'm going to give you guys some updates on some stuff. And then, we'll talk about some other interesting things that happened. Lil Durk suffers a big loss in court due to death threat motion falling through. So let's go over this. Lil Durk's murder for hire trial has gone through a lot of changes recently, with the United States District Judge Michael Fitzgerald recently ruling on a key motion. According to journalist Megan Caniff, Judge Fitzgerald denied the defense's motion to dismiss over the prosecution's reported failure to disclose death threats against a bail hearings judge. Defense lawyers asked for either an evidentiary hearing or their allegations, an evidentiary hearing on their allegations, or for the removal of U.S. Attorney's Office and Los Angeles prosecutors in the case, as well as all Central District judges in California. They alleged a concealment of 4 threatening voicemails to U.S. Magistrate Judge Patricia Owing in February and 1 threatening voicemail to Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yalnalu in April. According to defense attorneys, this represented an alleged effort to hide information for the purposes of avoiding bail, but the judge in this case disagreed. There is just absolutely no basis for this motion, just none, absolutely none. Judge Fitzgerald reportedly remarked. Prosecutors reportedly told Lil Durk's legal team of these threats in October. These threats did not stop Judge Donoway from denying his bail once again in May. Yanilero denied the allegations against prosecutors, calling the motion factually inaccurate due to marshals discussing the threats with judges, not prosecutors, as the motion alleged. Furthermore, Judge Fitzgerald did not see how these threats would have influenced any judge or justifies recusing attorneys or dismissing the case outright. So yeah, how much is Lil Durk facing? Let's see what this is. Faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. Yeah, they said they have a bunch of evidence, man, a huge amount of evidence against them. We'll see that the situation got pushed back once again, but yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. Of course, this is not a win for Durk at all, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. With the Diddy thing, people expected this and that, and with this situation, they expect this and that. A little update on the cash out. I don't know if I ever even covered this whole thing. I think I did, but yeah, he's serving 40 years in prison, but he actually got hit with like a $40 million or I don't know what $1 million lawsuit. It was crazy that he's paying, and he lost on. So he's screwed financially and in his life. So you never know with these things, man. They can go one way or the other, but we'll keep our eyes open regardless and cover it as the days go on. Young Buck, get him, Buck. Okay, I'm reloading, my bankroll swollen. The homie can't fold it. I got him got him rolling the cush. Yeah, shout out to Get Buck. But updates on Buck's gun violation issue. It's been going on for a while. I even talked about it to him when I did the interview with him. So let's go over this. What's going on? Young Buck has had a surprisingly busy past few months, whether due to his diss track stemming from a claim from Fat Joe or some rough legal trouble. But according to All Hip Hop, the later situation actually won't turn out so bad for the former G Unit MC. Buck reportedly entered a plea deal in his weapons case in a Tennessee court this week, pleading guilty to weapons possessions after receiving a felony conviction. The result was an 8-year prison sentence. However, the court suspended 30% of the sentence. As such, he will reportedly serve 2.4 years via community corrections rather than jail time. So this plea deal won't send him to prison. The G-Unit affiliate will now serve his sentence via community service programs, supervised probation, and other initiatives laid out by the court. This near 6-year case had other hiccups, though, such as the 30-day jail sentence in April of 2025 for violating his bond at least 6 times due to missing check-ins and not complying with other stipulations. Young Bucks fans even protested and called for his freedom amid what they perceived as unjust treatment from the justice system. Yeah, we talked about this in our interview. A lot of this stuff was BS, based on, what Buck was saying. But yeah, he's got 2.4 years to serve, and he has to be basically on best behavior, do community service, which he's already starting to do. He was like at a Nashville. They're doing like gentrification in certain hoods in Nashville, and Buck was there for that meeting and talking about the city and how there's better ways than just gentrifying everything. So he's doing that, and then so it's much better than serving prison time, actually being in prison. Way better, but you got to be very, very on top of your game and don't allow, things to trick you out of what you're in at that certain situation. So congrats to Buck, man. At least he didn't have to serve that prison time. And, hopefully he 100% after this is out of trouble. We never hear anything about him getting locked up or anything like that. Cause I told him, I was like, yo, this is not the path to go, man. You can be doing a lot more with your life than getting into these situations. And when we reported this on the Instagram page, because I think I recorded the podcast, finished it up, and then the news came like right after, which is annoying. Whenever I do a podcast episode and the news comes like literally right after, it's so annoying. But we posted on our Instagram page and Facebook, whatever. But on the Instagram, I was seeing people comment like, man, Young Buck is so mature. Why is he still getting in trouble? Like, this is a long time ago. This is something that's been hanging over him for so long. So it's not something recent that he did. This has been going on for years and years. Yeah, good news on his end. At least he gets to be a free man, quote unquote, free to a certain extent. And yeah, hopefully he doesn't get in any trouble. And I want to hear more music. He's shooting a lot of music videos of old tracks, which is really dope. And out of the whole G Unit group, and let me know if you guys agree with this or not, he is the only one that still sounds as if he was, making music from 2003 and 2004. Like his flow is still there. His voice still matches earlier times when G Unit was at his prime. Banks has lost his voice. It's not the same as it once was. 50's lost his voice musically. It's not the same as it once was. Tony Yayo still has his voice, but Tony Yayo, like musically, isn't there like he used to be. So Buck's the only one, out of the 4 G Unit. Game, it's here and there with Game. But Game and Buck, if you want to count Game as, the 5th member G Unit, he is the only one alongside Game that actually have their original sound. Banks, I don't know what happened to a lot of his voice. The voice has gotten better because there was a certain point where his voice was really bad. It was just really hard to listen to. But now it's gotten better. I think it's because of the weed. I don't know. I think when he quit smoking, he started getting better in terms of how his voice was sounding. But Buck smokes weed still, I think. I don't know. I don't think he does anymore, but who knows? But his voice has still been the same, man. That Fat Joe diss track sounds like the old prime Buck. There's no difference that you can tell. So that's really cool. So that's why I always get excited to hear Buck's music whenever he drops something new, because it's it still feels like that 2004 Buck that came out in his prime with the Straight Outta Cashville, right? So yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted, and good news for Buck. As Buck avoided prison time, so did Boosie. So let's go over this. Boosie Badazz has been through a lot of legal trouble in his career, but fortunately, his most recent obstacle will not land him in prison. Badazz recently received a time-served sentence in his federal gun case and must pay a $50,000 fine plus complete 300 community service hours. I'm blessed to have my freedom, the Baton Rouge rapper expressed on Instagram. It's time to turn up now. I couldn't do a lot of shit because of the situation I was going through. I got 3 movies ready. I got probably 7 albums ready. I'm finna push the gas. I can do shows again. 2026, we lit. All my Boosie fans, we back, baby. Ain't going nowhere. God did it for us again. I'm back, Boosie said in another clip. I give all praises to God. Man, I knew it the whole time. I've been telling y'all. But anyway, Boosie Back, man. The Boosie Back tour. Get your date now. You already know how I'm coming. You better get your date now. The phone's jumping. You know I'm selling out, man. Come on. That's what he said. Come on, Boosie. You know what's crazy is Boosie's rebrand of his name, Boosie Badazz, is dope. His name was Lil Boosie before. Now it's Boosie Badazz. So I think a lot of artists, it's funny. Some artists try to rebrand their name. It just doesn't work. But Boosie really, that caught on, and people just started calling him that. That's it. But yeah, really cool, man. Really cool that he didn't get any major time. $50,000 fine, no problem for him. I'm sure he can pay that, no issues. And 300 hours of community service. That is a significant amount of hours, but he'll do it because he doesn't want any trouble like that ever again. So yeah, Buck and Boosie walked out with some great deals. Obviously, Boosie's deal is a little bit better, but still. Any day not behind bars is a blessed day. So shout out to Boosie. Russell Simmons is looking to sue, or at least threaten to sue, HBO. Let's go over the article. Russell Simmons has a bone to pick with HBO, and he's not afraid to let the world know. Earlier this week, the Def Jam co-founder took to Threads to demand an apology from the company. That's a first when it comes to using Threads, and that's like a place where I guess people still use that platform. That's crazy. HBO, you owe me hundreds of millions of dollars, he alleged. I need my bread for all my charities and family members, specifically my children. You know what you did was horrific and malicious. You can't hide. Ask Oprah or anyone who's ever looked at the evidence available in suit. You intentionally suppressed all of it. I want an apology and $100 million time to pay. It's unclear exactly why Simmons thinks HBO owes him this kind of cash. Back in June, however, he sued the company for a staggering $20 million. The lawsuit was filed in New York State court. It accuses those behind the Amy Ziering and Kirby Dick directed documentary On the Record of Defamation. So yeah, that documentary, I never checked the documentary out, by the way. But yeah, he is, I mean, he's suing for $20 million, but I don't think you can sue for, a documentary for defamation if you're a public figure, especially if people are just kind of giving their own testimonies, like the Diddy thing, right? The Diddy documentary. He's locked up right now. Not specifically for what people are accusing him of. And I actually had a conversation with one of my friends about this because he's not really tapped into the music world, but he knows I am. So he was asking me, he's like, what did Diddy get locked up? Why did he only get 5 years, blah, blah, blah? Didn't he beat Cassie? Wasn't that more time he's supposed to get? And I told him, I was like, listen, he wasn't on trial for domestic violence. He was on trial for XYZ charges, and he got charged for basically flying girls out to wherever he's at, which is crazy to get a sex trafficking charge for that. You know how many guys have flown girls out to them? They should all get charged. It's insane. So there's only a certain extent where I guess as a public figure, people can speak on things, but if you're like me, a news outlet, and spreading misinformation, that's different. I think if you're just having people talk in a documentary and say, hey, this is my experience, and allegedly, quote unquote, is the word that everybody uses, then I don't think you can sue, because if you're a public figure, you just kind of got to take that to the chin, really. And that's it, because people can talk shit about you. It just is what it is. When you become a public figure, people are going to have opinions. People are going to say things. People are going to accuse you of things. Unless there's really solid evidence, it doesn't really matter. So with Diddy, it was kind of a situation where, there was no solid evidence of the stuff that he was getting charged with, really solid evidence. There was only a few things here and there. Now, domestic violence, if he was getting charged with that, of course, there's clear video footage of it in the hotel room of him beating Cassie. But with Russell Simmons, I have no idea. I don't know what he's ever been charged with, if he's ever been charged. I don't know. I'm really, really ill-informed on. I know he's been accused of sexual harassment. I know that 100%. And he hasn't come back to America to a certain extent. So clearly there's something there, but I don't know. Who knows? But we'll see what happens, man. That $20 million lawsuit and all that stuff. We'll get updates on that moving forward. Updates on Salt-N-Pepa's UMG lawsuit. This has been crazy. I don't remember if I covered it when it first started, but let's go over what happened. Salt-N-Pepa's attempt at suing UMG met an unfortunate result this week. According to People, on Thursday, January 8th, U.S. District Judge Denise Cote dismissed the hip-hop duo's federal filing against the label in the Southern District of New York. They later filed a motion to have the complaint tossed back in July of 2025. The Queens-based rap outfit accused the imprint of violating the Copyright Act, saying that they weren't allowing them to reclaim their masters. And moreover, Salt-N-Pepa claimed that UMG was retaliating by removing their music from DSPs. And in Judge Denise Cote's ruling, she determined that the hitmakers never owned the copyrights and recordings in the first place. Moreover, they never performed a transfer of said rights to themselves or anyone else. Judge Cote says, even viewed in the light most favorable to the plaintiffs, the 1986 agreements do not indicate that plaintiffs ever owned the copyrights to the sound recordings or that they granted a transfer of those rights to anyone else. Federal law allows termination rights only to authors who executed their original grant, and the court emphasized that the plaintiffs can only terminate copyright transfers that they executed. So yeah, UMG has since issued a statement following their legal victory. While we are gratified that the court dismissed the baseless lawsuit, it should never have been brought in the first place. Prior to this suit and without any legal obligation to do so, we made multiple attempts to resolve the matter amicably, improve the artist's compensation, and ensure that Salt-N-Pepa's fans had access to their music. They conclude by saying they are still willing to hash things out with the FEMC pairing. Even with the court's complete rejection of their claims, we remain open and willing to find a resolution to the matter and turn the page so we can focus our efforts on working together to amplify Salt-N-Pepa's legacy for generations to come. As called by Rolling Stone, Salt-N-Pepa have also responded to the news. We remain committed to vindicating and reclaiming our rights as creators under the Copyright Act. Overall, it sounds like this fight might not be over just yet. As for when it began, the leading ladies, Cheryl James and Sandra Deaton, brought this forth in May of 2025. However, you could say that it technically grew legs in 2022 as they filed notices of termination in 2022 so that they could start reclaiming their master recordings. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Obviously, 1986 is a long time ago. I don't think back then a lot of artists really knew about owning, their material. Now it's a lot more. Even in today's time, artists are getting screwed because they don't realize what they're signing or what they're doing. But now it's a little bit more like known that, hey, try to own your work as much as you can. Back then, it wasn't as informed. I mean, we got the internet now. Like, it's easy. It's a lot easier. Now you got AI where you can ask AI a lot of stuff. And it's not the most accurate thing when you ask AI, but at least you have access to that information. And that's the important part. It's unfortunate, but hey, man, you sign the contract. It is what it is. Try making new music that maybe will hit again. I don't know. But other than that, I would work with the record label. Try to, it's better to work with them because they're the ones that are in control of your music. They can help you in certain ways, give you probably commission on certain things. And like they said, they're willing to increase their split a little bit just to help them out. But hey, it is what it is, man. They have their view on it. UMG has their view on it. And at the end of the day, man, I know a lot of labels get a lot of flack. At the end of the day, you got to remember, labels take a bet on artists, and they lose 9 times out of 10 that bet. It takes like one artist to really blow up to make up for the 9 failures. So it's a business at the end of the day, man. You can't look at it as like, oh, it's an artist and they have to have like their rights and this and that. Like, it's a business. They want to own music. They want to own, part of your work because they're investing a lot of money into it and promoting it. So it is what it is. That's just the gist of it. That's the name of the game. Know what you're signing and never come into a deal where you need that deal. Like, you have to have that deal or else financially you're screwed. Like, whenever you're in a position where you have to do something and not because you want to or, want to entertain it, then when you're in a hard position trying to do a deal, it's horrible. It'll end up screwing you in the long run. Because I've been in positions like that at certain points where I have to kind of do this deal at this moment because I need it that badly. And it screwed me in the end, and that's just what it is. When you go from that point of view, it's bad. But when you're coming from a position of, hey, I got power, I'm doing this on my own without any other buddy's help, I don't have to do a deal with you, then you're in a great position. And that's where I'm at with Everest mentality, at least. Like, if Netflix came to me, obviously I would entertain it, but I'm not in a point where like, oh, I have to do a deal with Netflix. No, I'm doing perfectly fine on my own. Yes, I'm not as popular as X, Y, and Z, but I'm growing this independently. I'm slowly growing a team, slowly growing these things out where I'm coming that if I ever do go to Netflix or if I ever do go to any of these bigger platforms, I can negotiate more because I have my own team, my own system. And that's where you should, come from. Because that's where Nipsey Hussle, when he was putting in all money in, he came to Atlantic Records as a partner, not as an artist trying to get a deal because he already had his structure filled out. He just needed that push, a little bit more of the backing with the label. So yeah, you just got to come into certain deals, already having something to add to the table. Because if they see that you need them more than they need you, then you're going to get screwed 9 times out of 10 on that deal. But yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward with this. Unfortunate, but hey, man, that's business. Fetty Wap has officially been released from prison. Yes, yeah, baby guy. So let's go over his conditions and what he's going to be doing moving forward. Fetty Wap is out of prison, but he's got a long journey before he gets to live life on his own terms. The hitmaker will now have to follow some strict release conditions after he completes a stint in his home confinement. So he's going to be in home for at least a year, I believe. He's there right now, per a spokesperson for the U.S. Federal Bureau of Prisons. CNN can confirm. They told the outlet that Fetty Wap was transferred on January 7th, 2026 from Federal Correction Institution, Sandstone, Minnesota, to community confinement. This is being overseen by BOP's Philadelphia Residential Rentary Management Office. Excitingly, this won't last too long. The My Way singer will be done there on November 8th per TMZ. After that, though, the 34-year-old has 5 years of tight guidelines he will need to follow. The outlet says he will need to undergo drug tests, will be prohibited from opening any new bank accounts unless federal agents approve it. Moreover, Fetty will need to inform the U.S. Probation Department about his earnings and tax records. On top of that, the consumption of any alcohol or other intoxicants, unless granted a prescription by a licensed physician, is prohibited. If the court decides to, Fetty Wap may need to participate in an outpatient drug treatment program. He would have to submit to testing during and after the treatment program to ensure his abstinence. So yeah, Fetty Wap was released from low security facility in Minnesota on Wednesday with reports exploding onto the scene January 8th. So yeah, he ended up doing an interview with the Breakfast Club, but he's on very, very strict terms. With the Breakfast Club, he revealed that one of the few people that actually looked out for him was 50 Cent. So let's play this clip.
So I don't even know where to start with him. 50 did a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? He from day one, it was like he reached out like, yo, whatever you need, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And then it was like, where this money going? I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't used to that. I'm used to it's always the other way around.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Send me the money here, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like it was nothing. Like whatever I needed, he was right there. Like he answered the phone. He didn't shy off. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the time I'm about to come home. He said, yo, how you getting home and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like if anything, like as far as financial and like mental like help, he was probably there the biggest.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I know 50 was like helping you diversify like income and different things like that as well too. What were the conversations like about when Fetty Wap comes home, 50 Cent is giving you what advice of like, here's what you should be doing business-wise because the industry has changed so much?
I can't curse, right?
Yeah, you curse.
Yeah. Hey yo, stop fucking up. You know what I'm saying? You should have never stopped making music. Like you should have kept going hard. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's 50. 50 going. He gonna say what he want to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got no filter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. It was everything he told me. It was just like, you know what I'm saying? Just get back to it. Like, don't waste no time this time. You only got this my last chance. You know what I'm saying? However that sounds to people. But you know, if you in this industry, you know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make it count.
Solid advice, man. 50 in the caption said, Wap home, fresh out the feds, ready to work. He good. I got him. Let's get it. That's what's up, man. But yeah, there's been a lot of stories of 50 like looking out for people when they're locked up and putting up bail for people. I remember when Kid got locked up, they got him out immediately. So, you know, really, really solid guy 50 is. And as far as Fetty Wap, I hope he gets back to the music, man. I think he came out, he was one of the last people, I think, in the industry, came out fresh with a huge buzz with multiple hits. You had Trap Queen, 679, RGF Island. I think Jimmy Choo was another record. Like, he had records, man. It wasn't just like a one-hit wonder. You can't say Fetty Wap. You could say it's a one-album wonder because the album had all those hits on it. But a one-hit wonder, you can't say. So, yeah, I look forward to it, man. Hopefully he actually gets back to the music and people pay attention and, you know, give him, you know, a curious ear, I guess, to listen to his stuff. So we'll see what happens. This is crazy. So Freekey Zekey, part of Dipset, drops footage of Jim Jones and Dame Dash basically wanting to go at it, but Dame Dash says, hey, you're the rapper. You're not the gangster. You know, you're not going to fight. Let's go. Let's have a fair one-on-one. And Jim Jones brushes that off and then puts one of his goons to try to do it. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys, and then after that, we'll talk about what it's about.
Yeah, they do. You know, for you never did nothing. You ain't no gang.
They do. That's right.
You're an entertainer.
They the gang
You're a
bangers,
tough
nigga.
rapper. No,
You soft, gang. You soft,
You get the
nigga.
film.
You soft, nigga.
Can you get the
You
film?
soft, nigga.
You get
This
the
ain't
film.
1989.
You get the film. You ain't never raped me up. I ain't never
Go fuck him up, bro. Fuck him up.
No. Cigarette. Go ahead. Fuck me up.
Give me the glass.
Fuck me up.
Move, Chrissy. Chrissy, move, Chrissy.
Hell no. Come on, y'all. Baby, please, you can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't. No.
Go inside and do something.
Never sit me down tonight.
Come on, guys, please. Let's just chalk this up as a fucked up day.
Ain't no fucked up down. He came down at his house to try to disrespect me. And now he got to eat that when he's not mad. You gonna remember this shit when you're not mad?
I don't give a fuck about it.
Your friends are shaming you right now. Your friends are shaming you right now.
No, they're not.
They telling you to go swing on your old
These
shit.
niggas don't care about you at all,
They
gang.
care about the way you act.
About you,
They're
gang.
shaming
Trust
you.
me, they don't care about you,
I see that
nigga.
now.
They care about what I do, nigga. Remember that, nigga.
We're not doing that. Let's not do it. If we're doing it, let's get it over. I ain't got all day.
Exactly. We're not.
Let me do what I need to do.
We're not doing
I ain't got all day for this. I'm gonna take a beat down. Let me take it. But I'm gonna look good while I can. Let's go. Let's go.
Please.
I'm
Take
ready.
your old ass aside.
I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere till y'all go. Get off my block then.
You can't do nothing.
Get off
with
my
these
block
niggas.
then. I can do
You can't do nothing with these niggas.
Okay, so in the video, let's kind of break this down because it's a catch-22. You know, I know this video makes Jim Jones look bad, but look, here's my kind of explanation with this video. If Jim Jones fought Dame Dash one-on-one and something happened and like Jim Jones got hit with a lawsuit or he got locked up or whatever, you know what the people would say? They would say, Jim Jones is a moron. This is what you get your goons to do. You don't, basically he's the geese that lays the golden eggs. You protect him. You know, your goons should take care of this stuff. That's one side would say. The other side would say, you know, hey, you're a bitch because you're not fighting Dame Dash one-on-one. So you won't win in terms of, you know, the public opinion. It's just not going to, there's going to be one side or the other for people. Me personally, I think the rapper, the guy who's making the most money should not lay their hands on nobody because they're the ones that can get an easy lawsuit. It should be the people surrounding the goons, and that's it. They should not be the ones laying their hands on. That's my take on it. So I don't think Jim Jones did anything wrong here. I think it was a smart move not to do it. I don't think it makes him look like, I don't think he looks like he's scared. He's just like, hey, his wife is there, Chrissy, and saying, hey, don't do it. And like, so he probably thought about it for a brief moment, but then I was like, nah, I'm just not going to get involved in it, you know. And there was a guy secretly recording, so it's good that he didn't get involved. And the police showed up later, a little bit later in the video. But what's funny is in the Freekey Zekey post where he dropped this video, Cameron commented the eyes emoji, and then he tagged Dame Dash and said, I know I'm Fredo, LOL, but you look good out there this day. So he actually gave props to Dame Dash, which was crazy because Cameron and Dame Dash are not seeing eye to eye right now as well. So, yeah, that's my take on it, man. I don't think it really makes Jim Jones look bad. I think, you know, had he actually fought at that moment, people would have been like, you're stupid. What are you doing? Like, you should get your goons to do that. And, you know, him not fighting, people are going to call him, you know, all kinds of names and say he's scared and stuff like that. So there's no winning. It just makes him look bad because on video, like he's telling one of his homies, like, hey, I'm going to take your glasses off. Like, go get him, you know? Like that makes him look bad. If it was like, because if you think about the 50 Cent gunplay MMG chain situation. There were reports, but we never saw it in video. There were reports that 50 swung on gunplay and hit him, and then the rest of his goons, you know, Mike Knox, allegedly, Tony Ayo, allegedly, Kid, allegedly, you know, stomped out gunplay, and then they took his chain. So it really wasn't 50 doing it, even though there's reports that 50 started it. He swung first, and he got the party started. It was mainly his goons doing it. Does that make 50 look bad? No, because in the situation, it just happens quick. In this Jim Jones situation, he's like sitting there like talking shit and then telling his goons like, hey, let me take your guys, go. You know, like with the 50 situation, it just happened. Like it was just quick. 50 wasn't sitting there and like talking to gunplay and them going back and forth. And 50 was like, all right, go get him. You know, like that makes you look weaker in that situation. So I get where people are like clowning Jim Jones about that. But overall, man, the artist should never get involved in fighting or anything like that. It's a dumb move. And even on Dame Dash's part, like, have your goons handle some stuff. But I know people with their pride and all that stuff, they're like, nah, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. So it is what it is, but that's it. And we'll see what happens moving forward. And if Jim addresses this, or he probably moves on. But I'm sure Cameron and Freekey Zekey got more footage that they'll release down the line if Jim Jones does some stuff. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll see. This is interesting. So Tupac's BMW is going for like an insane rate now. The one that he got actually shot in. So let's go over the article. The infamous murder of hip-hop legend Tupac Shakur is still relevant today, with Dwayne "Keefy D" Davis's trial on those charges recently facing delay. But a piece of history from his 1996 Las Vegas shooting after a Mike Tyson fight is coming back up for other reasons. As listed by Celebrity Cars Las Vegas, the BMW that Tupac was riding in when he was shot in is now up for sale for a whopping, yes, you're going to hear this right, $1.75 million. That is insane. Per the listing, the 1996 BMW 7 Series sedan has been almost completely restored to its pre-shooting state, along with a fresh coat of paint. To be clear, Pac passed away days after the shooting in the hospital, not in the car itself. According to the listing, this is the first time in history that the vehicle emerged for sale or for public display. Those handling the vehicle also replaced the wheels within the original wheels the same style. Whoever purchases the vehicle will also get documentation to verify these details and others, and it's currently on display in the Celebrity Cars Las Vegas showroom. Its most recent owner, following multiple others, is the one that commissioned the full restoration of the BMW. So yeah, the listing is at $1.75 million. Yeah, they restored everything, man. I don't know, man. There's things about this that creep me out. It's like, why would you want to own a piece of something where somebody didn't die in but got shot in that led to his death? I find that very weird and creepy. I get it, it's Tupac, but at the end of the day, it's a human being. There's nothing really like, it's not like Jesus sat in this car. Like it's just a rapper that sat in this car and died. Not in the car, but you get the point. That's the first thing. Second thing is, why restore it, man? Keep it as a piece of history. Like, somebody in the hip hop world should have purchased that, put it in like T.I. has the Trap Museum, like put that in a museum type of stuff. Because that's like history with the bullet to where it's at. Restoring it, it just took that whole, I guess, restore it to the where it's drivable, but the bullet holes I would have kept. Or I would have like painted it in a way where you can see the bullet holes still, like added like vinyls on it with the bullet holes, so that somebody wants to remove them, they can. But I don't know, something where restoring it completely is just like you took it away. But somebody in the comments said, yeah, Drake buying this shit, watch. Which is funny because I would not be surprised if Drake bought that. He's got the money to do that, no problem. But yeah, the car is being sold for $1.75 million. Check out the photos of it. It looks crazy, insane. But yeah, very weird story nonetheless. New music, let's get into it. Bruno Mars dropped I Just Might. A$AP Rocky dropped Punk Rocky. Kid Leroy dropped Before I Get his album. Chief Keef dropped Harry Potter. French Montana and Max B dropped their album CW 3.5. Larry June dropped Who Coppin'. And that's really about it in terms of new music. Let's get into album sales. Morgan the Wallen is number one now with I'm the Problem, sold 81,000. Taylor Swift is down to number 2 with The Life of a Showgirl at 70,000. Olivia Dean, number 3, The Art of Lovin', 61,000. Number 4, K-Pop Demon Hunters soundtrack, 56,000. Number 5, Tate McRae, So Close to What, 37,000. Number 6, SZA SOS, 37,000. Number 7, Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, 34,000. Number 8, Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time, 33,000. Number 9, Alex Warren, You'll Be Alright Kid, 33,000. And then number 10, Peso Pluma and Tito Double P, Dinastia at 29,000. Going down the list, Drake, Take Care at number 17 with 24,000, which is crazy. This album is literally in the top 20. This album came out in fucking 2011. Insane, man. Cardi B's at number 21 with Am I the Drama at 22,000. ESD Kid Rebel, number 23 with 21,000. Party Next Door and Drake, Some Sexy Songs for You, number 26 with 19,000. BX The Plug, I Hope You're Happy, number 31 with 19,000. NBA Youngboy, Massa, number 33 with 18,000. Linkin Park's old classic album is back on the charts at number 34 with 18,000. That's interesting. Probably a vinyl release. 21 Savage, What Happened to the Streets at number 35 with 18,000. Kendrick Lamar, GNX, number 37 with 18,000. Eminem, Curtain Call, his greatest hits album, is at number 38 with 18,000. Going down the list, Drake Views, number 46 with 16,000. And Gunna, number 48 with the last one at 16,000. Prince, Purple Rain is at number 49 with 16,000. Interesting. I wonder if it's like vinyl releases, but that's usually what the cause of it is. But who knows? That's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. As always, guys, I appreciate you always for watching, listening. It means the world to me. Stream at Spotify, Deezer, Podcast, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts at. And have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.